Okay, so last time I did my Dreamcatcher series, I talked about making the initial hoop and your different varieties of material to make it with. Today I'm going to go through the center. So you need to find your twine or sinew or whatever you're going to use. Just as a basic rule of thumb, I try to go around, and it's about 12 to 15 times all the way around. Should give you enough to be able to complete the project without having to tie on more string, which is not a good thing when you're making dream catchers. So you want one continuous loop all the way through. So when you get your material all set aside, you separate. If you have more than one loop going around, you want to separate and put it in between, and just put your twine or whatever between the two little loops here, and then just tie it on like you normally would, like you did when you started off to do around the edge. Just a couple of quick knots should be fine. Okay, when you have done that, and when you first start working with it, it is a lot of string and it takes a while. So when you start, the first hoop is always the worst because you want to go through every time and push between the layers of your base. And when you pull it through, you pull it through on the inside. I don't know if you can see this very well, but here is where it's pulling around through, and it's on the inside closest to where I started, the loop I started. And that's how you're going to make your section stay up on here. You have to make 12, and you want them to try to be as even as possible, but see, now I have my first little loop on here, and that's, you're going to try to get that as tight as you can so that it just lays almost flat with that section. And you're going to do this 12 times around the edge, as evenly spaced as you can. When you have attached 12 loops to the edge, the 13th loop, which represents the 13th moon of the year, attaches from the last one to this one, which was the first one of the first row. And then you just go around and around. The closer or the more even you make them, the more even it's going to be, and the more even your center, the more likely the center is going to be in the center of your hoop. If you make one side really large and one side kind of smaller, then you're going to end up with it kind of off kilter, which some people may go for that. I try to make them as close to the center as I can. All right, so after you've finished that, I've got one here that I have done. You want to keep your tension as tight as you can without breaking your loop, your twigs or whatnot. Okay, so when you're done with that, and you've gotten to the point where they're very small sections here, when I get to that point, I do every other one and I skip one. So I did that one, I'm going to skip that one, I'm going to go through that one, and it's just the same. You just pull it to the inside, and then you just pull it as tight as you can, hold that there, and then you're going to skip the next one and go through to the one after that and get to the center.